You're listening to The Word on the Streets with Joe Bingham, Jason Tasker, and Raj Pujata.
Hello, welcome back to TWOTS. I don't know what episode number this is. Like, who cares? Who cares what number it is? It's good to have you back. Here with Joe and Raj.
Welcome back.
Still here, active, on road.
The Word on the Streets.
I've got energy today.
And what do you have for, what do you eat?
What do I eat? I had I had banana and peanut butter about half an hour ago, something like that.
And why is it that you're trying to get in shape? What bougie holiday have you got coming up?
I'm going on a yacht thing.
A yacht thing?
Yeah, like you go on a yacht, you just cruise around a little bit, island to island, jump off the yacht, swim around a little bit, probably get sunburn.
So you just chill on the yacht all day. What bit of the country or the world are you in?
Greece.
So what bit of the country?
Fucking Cornwall on your
Yacht
yacht.
party, Limehouse Marina. I don't know.
I'm actually going around Portsmouth Harbour. Yeah. That's probably what it was a few years ago, to be fair.
Just go up and down the Clipper, bruv. Just...
Anyway, we were talking about that last night after you'd gone, about the Thames Clipper.
Yeah, mate, that's pretty banging, you know. You've been on it.
Get on it, got a bar on it.
Yeah,
it's class.
Yeah,
the one in New York's good as well. They've got like a ferry that goes across, get a few beers.
Staten Island?
Staten Island ferry. It wasn't Staten Island ferry. Mine was just the one that just goes across from Williamsburg to New York. But yeah, like I've been on a yacht trip with work before, and that was horrendous.
So what happens on the yacht trip? Like what stays on the yacht?
Well, that yacht,
What happens on the yacht stays on the yacht.
Yeah, well, chlamydia follows you home, doesn't it? So,
Yeah, but the pirates are all right with it, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's a Somalian yacht trip, actually.
Oh, I meant like old-fashioned pirates.
Yeah.
Somali pirates are very different.
I don't think
they're man ready for the bag.
There's no old pirates left. They're all just Somalian.
Yeah. Would you reckon is where you're going at any peril of being kidnapped by sea bandits?
No, not well. I know Greece is probably in an economic recession, but I don't know whether it is or not. I'm just making that up.
So how many people are on the yacht?
I think 6, maybe
6 people.
6
Total.
Oh, it's not a cruise.
You're
then?
thinking
No,
different
it's
kind
like
of
a
yacht.
catamaran. It's like kind of like a
They're
catamaran.
not on Abramovich's yacht.
I'm not like fucking Conor McGregor, like
So
speeding
it's
around
just
on
you
a
and your
Lamborghini.
boys, yeah, just on the yacht.
Yeah, but all the rest of the yachts have to be like equal ratios of male to female.
It's like the in-between.
Is it a convoy of yachts?
Yeah, just a convoy of yachts. Like, think 30 yachts just cruising along the sea.
What
Dolphins.
bougie
No, not
shit
dolphins.
Is this?
He
bro?
does live a bougie life.
I didn't even know this shit existed.
Neither did I until like a couple of years ago. I was like, this is a different world. This is a world where rich people exist. I'm going as like like just a hired hand, really.
You're like a Make-A-Wish
Fucking
kid
hell.
on a yacht.
Yeah, I'm like the Make-A-Wish kid on the
Times
yacht.
have
Like,
changed. Yeah,
I'll be
but
there,
so-
like just picking up everyone's change as they're diving into. When they all put the Rolexes on the side, I'll just be there cleaning up.
Mate, if I told my mum I was going on a yacht holiday, she'd be like, what the fuck is that? Like, she's from a like flipping...
I can remember when I went on a yacht trip with work, and that was in Portsmouth, and we just went on a day do you know when you race yachts against it? It was quite fun actually.
And they sailboats.
Yeah, but you will like race each other.
Yeah.
But then like I was thinking, oh, this is a cool trip, and then I got back at night and I was speaking to one of my friends, and he was at a Pornhub party in Ibiza, and I was like, probably been outdone there.
Yeah, you've been trumped there.
Yeah.
Depends what you're most
there.
into, innit? You know what I mean? If you're into a bit of nautical banter.
Also, what
Yeah.
what subcategory of Pornhub party was it, or was it everyone?
Oh, it was like sub-dom.
Sub-dom.
All the lot. Yeah.
Because you don't want like incest or something.
Jason turns up to the black party.
It's like you didn't. It's like
The
you didn't bring.
Mandingo show.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
It's like, where are your sisters? Where are the rest of your family? You're not getting in. Like, you can't come in here on your own.
Oh no, Jason stumbled in from the cook party that's around the corner.
I mean, what is going like? Is it cook?
Do you think you could sit in the corner and watch someone rail your missus? No.
Not for fun.
I said not
Some
for fun,
guys
but
are
what's
into
the
that,
bag?
right?
Why is it cook? I always get confused.
Cuckold. It's someone who
Cuckold.
likes watching their partner
Yeah.
get railed, basically.
Oh,
And it always, for some reason, it's always white men.
It is always white.
It is always white men.
Always white.
do you think
Always.
they're like? Do you think like they're trying to like pay back for all the the oppression that their ancestors
What
did
you
or
think?
something like that.
You think their
What, to their
reparations
missus?
is you can rag home my missus?
Yeah, they're like cook reparations.
I think they'd rather
but
money and some land.
Sometimes it's a white guy that's doing the railing, isn't it? So
Yeah, but it's never a black guy that's watching. You know what I mean?
yeah, but
That's
I'm
what
saying
I'm
sometimes
saying.
a white guy watching a white
like
guy
a well
railing his
endowed
missus,
white
yeah.
guy.
Yeah. But then if she's black, then that's a whole different type of topic. That's not reparations.
No, that's oppression.
That's
porn.
oppression.
We don't
again,
want that.
It is sometimes funny though when you see like white male porn stars and they're just like really skinny and then they've got like a massive wang.
Proper freaks of nature.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
God, where was this guy
I
created?
remember one of my friends applied to be a porn star.
How do you
What do you apply? You just put
I
a
don't know
picture.
what he-
You just send a picture of your cock.
Fill the Google form out and put
Yeah.
his availability on.
Minimum
How
cri-
big? You know, you'd like.
Yeah, that's literally it. How big is your penis?
and you'd exaggerate, and then they'd like reduce it.
How long can you, like, how long does it take you to bust a nut?
That's where I'd be at.
And so he was, so he's that
would.
guy. He's that guy that will always just get his cock out.
Okay.
He don't need a reason.
Because it's a weapon.
It's like 8 inches.
Okay. What,
Okay.
flaccid?
No. And that's the criteria apparently to be a
bit
porn star.
I've never measured mine. But I
Yeah,
know
you
that
have.
I ain't.
You have.
No, I have.
You
When
have.
I was like at school, but not since.
Yeah. I tried. The ruler weren't big enough.
Yeah, you use one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
one of
the
them
ruler
folding
wasn't-
ones that snapped.
The ruler weren't big enough. Have I said that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're like shoving? Like, that's what you usually do when you measure it, and you like push the ruler in. Like, come on, I'll get an extra inch. Like 6.
Do you remember when iPhone bought the feature out where you get your camera out and it measures?
Yeah.
And there was all that stuff on Twitter, and it was like, this is the end of dick pics now because it's
Yeah.
just like I can get my phone to actually measure how big you
Shit,
Well,
I
it's
won't
not
wanna
very
do that.
accurate, that thing.
One of my friends, he had like a.
They say.
You've
they
been
say.
done dirty by that, innit?
No.
It's like this iPhone needs updating.
He's got his phone next to a Sky remote, but she realised it's perspective and the Sky remote's actually down here, bro. It's the same size.
I just go to the travel section of the holiday. You know, like when you go into Boots and then just measure it against like one of the fun
Oh, right,
size
okay.
things.
I thought he was having a stroke there. I was like, what
Yeah,
is
I
he
was
talking
like,
about?
what is this segue?
Yeah, it's like
You mean miniature toiletries?
yeah, that's what. One of my mates, he's got like he had like a really like I think he's still got it like an indestructible dick.
What?
You know, like one where you could like it's really like kind of bendy and stuff like that.
What again, while it's flaccid?
Yeah,
Is yours
yeah.
not- is yours
No,
not-
like
wait.
you could stretch it, and you could like hit it with stuff and
I met this guy at a comedy club, right?
bend it round like stuff.
And he has the most stretchy foreskin,
Yeah, okay.
and he would just put stuff in his foreskin. And so I was like, well, I want to know more. Like, so I gave him a candle.
Yeah, what lit?
No, but you know, like those tea light candles.
Mm.
Put the whole thing in.
Mad.
What? How big?
You know, the candle
That's mad.
tea light.
Oh shit, one of them. The
Candle.
yeah. I
Oh,
know
what they
which one
call
you mean.
tea light candle.
Yeah, I know
Have
which
I
one
made
you mean.
that
Yeah,
tea light
yeah,
candle?
no, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I know which ones you mean.
Put in his foreskin. I can't remember if he put the actual candlestick the holder of it in as well, but it was
Man's
madness.
Dick, man's dick looking like an
He's a-
armadillo, you know.
Do you know what I mean?
Fucking mad.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing now. He can put a Yankee candle in there now.
But what,
Yeah,
it's
set
such
the
a
mood.
pointless thing to have stretchy, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's not really
what
something
do you
you
reckon
can.
his missus just blows it like a balloon?
Yeah, I don't want to think about it, to be honest. Looking like a flying squirrel when he's getting head. Like, that's fucking disgusting, bro.
It's not really something you
Looking
can
like a
take on Britain's Got
basking shot.
Talent, is
Nah.
it?
Yeah, like that guy that used to stretch his. Do you remember that guy that used to stretch his neck over his mouth?
I just remember the guy who used to fart. Like, that was his thing on Britain's Got Talent. Can't you remember that guy?
No, I don't really watch Britain.
And he was like, they gave him actual stage time where he just like literally like fart a song
No, I don't remember.
on stage.
You know when you were talking about the cook thing though, have you seen? I've never actually watched an episode of it, but I always see it come up on the internet. That No Jumper podcast in America,
No.
and like so the geezer who runs it, the whole podcast is basically they just get different porn stars on and interview them, and then I think he just fucks these porn stars at the end of the podcast, and then it's like the podcast goes out. And when I've seen like clips of it come up, it's the most brain dead human beings you've ever spoken to. And then the flip side of it is like their Patreon is just porn videos that they're making while they're there.
Sick.
But as like a present to his wife, like, he finally let her fulfill her dream like the other week of going on Blacked. And like there was a clip that came up on his podcast of him like holding, like you can tell like there's pain in his eyes. You know what I mean? Like it's fuckery.
You know, things are never going to be the same again.
Nah.
Do you think you could date a porn star?
Joe's going to be like, yeah, I have.
No. I remember I went out with like a fucking lingerie model for years, and she was dead behind the eyes. Like it was just like every now and then, like she'd come back, and all she ever spoke about was like, "Yeah, it's just tanning all day." And I was like, "Sick, all right, fair enough."
What lingerie was it? Like catalogue lingerie or like the sexy stuff?
Nah.
What do you mean? Was it like John Lewis?
Yeah, again, like the Woolworths catalogue.
Whatever was paying. Yeah, she was a model for menstrual pants, mate. Yeah,
Tenor ladies.
Because it's different levels, isn't there? I'm sure there is.
There must be, yeah.
upper echelon. Anyway,
But yeah, there's an application to be a porn star, and my mate applied. He didn't make the cut, but
did you find out why? Did they give him feedback?
I'll ask him. But he put his cock measure. You got to put down how long you'd last. All of that stuff.
But that's a variable.
Yeah, isn't it?
I couldn't
You
just
have to take an
I couldn't
average.
confidently put down.
No,
I'm
but it's
good for a
it's
20-minute
tactically,
scene,
right?
Yeah.
So you bust a nut first over them, and then you go backwards.
Oh, is that how
Yeah.
it works?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that. It's like behind the scenes.
And the last scene they shoot is him turning up with his toolkit, and then they rap for the day.
Yeah, it's just like it's like nothing got done. Yeah, it's like you complete the job before you start it.
The cum shot's done first, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is it?
What,
I'd just
it's
be
the
really
most,
tired after that.
It's
So
the quickest, and it's done, and then he reloads and comes back for a longer session, just like every man should.
mate, if I was a porn star, I'd be like going into the back and be like, "Is he still reloading?" It's like, no, he's just fell
Like
asleep.
you've had a tactical wank before,
Yeah,
right?
but porn is not as romantic as I thought it was. That's quite sad.
Well, obviously, what the fuck?
Nah, I've some of the storylines I've seen, I thought they actually cared about each other. But this
Sometimes I
sounds-
deep dive into like in my head about like if the pizza guy's banging this woman, like
Why?
does she have a partner? Like
Yeah, like
poor guy.
That's why you just stick with fake taxi, because the plot is just, oh no, I ain't got any money. Every single week.
I might start role playing where I'm the Uber driver.
well, then you give you a
I'll
star
tell
rating
all
at
my
the
hinge
end.
matches. I'll pick you up, yeah, but I'm the Uber driver. Let's see how this goes.
Man said, I'm here to set my people back. That is what I'm
Turn back and be like, did you just cancel the trip?
Nah, because this is starting to sound like there's going to be a documentary
Get out
made
the car.
about your role playing, but then you're just like, oh, what's that? Oh, you haven't got any money? Central locking goes on. Next thing you know, I'm watching you on Netflix in 2 years.
Yeah.
I can't skip that one.
No, it's all consensual, man.
Horrid. Took a horrid turn, that did. Get us off topic, Jay. Come on.
I've got a question.
I've got
Sorry,
hemorrhoids.
I was thinking of a question.
Yeah, sick. You want to talk about that?
Yeah,
No.
I had a stroke last week. I'm joking.
What?
What is happening this week, man?
I've got energy. I swear. What would the world look like?
Well, you don't want to tee up what you're doing or anything, just straight in.
He said,
I'm
I've
just-
got a question.
You got a question?
And we're in.
Yeah, I've got a question. Like
Absolutely raw dogging it this week.
a situational
Just
question.
straight in, no lube.
No lube.
You got a question for us, have you, Jace?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like, what would the world look like if everyone openly discussed their salaries? I was thinking about this earlier, like the gender pay gap and shit like that. Like, what would
Fucking-
happen? Like, what would happen with relationships? You know, if you like went on a date and
Well, like everyone's just like, imagine they had like a luminous thing above their head saying how much they were worth.
yeah,
You could walk down the street and see, oh, my man's worth this much, my man's worth this much. Because you're going to see some motherfuckers in Louis Vuitton and Gucci with like minus £1,500 above their heads.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you. But I'm waiting for the day that girls dig a good credit score, man. Because I'm flying in that world, bro.
Yeah. You know what? If I ever wanted to get into debt, I'm very able to do it right now.
Listen, I could get a pre-approved for a mortgage out here. You get me? Waiting for the day credit score is a thing, bro.
that's quite a good like thing to like. Normally, like people will put, from what my knowledge is, like men especially will put like homeowner, business owner. If you put your credit score underneath that, that's pretty good, isn't it?
I always found it quite weird though, like when I first bought my house, because I bought my house like young-ish, but it is in Birmingham, so I'm not part of the problem. But I remember like all of a sudden I was like, this is the most debt I've ever been in my life with this mortgage, and yet I've never been more appealing. You know what I mean? I was like, you haven't really done the maths on this. Like, I could get this taken away from me at any
Never
point.
do the maths.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
It's like you're a homeowner. You're like, everyone's like, yeah, I'm a homeowner. It's like you're not. You own like literally your bathroom.
Yeah.
That's all you own of that house.
What do you mean?
When you pay your deposit, like, what do you actually own of that house?
Yeah, but you pay it off, didn't you?
Yeah, in like fucking 40 years.
Well, you know, buying a house is a real British thing, man. Like
Yep.
France and America, you just rent and it's just a thing. Why do you want a liability?
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you had it above your head, how much you earn or how much you was worth, my life be different.
Can you imagine if you go out one night?
I'd have been trapped at least 16 times.
Yeah.
There'd have been holes in those condoms. I'd have been done.
Or you go out and you have a really big night and then you come back and then you look above your head and it's just gone down rapidly.
Yeah, just look in the mirror like, fuck.
I've never done the weekend millionaire thing where you pretend to be earning more than you are. Like, you know them man where you see them on a night out and they'll all chip in to get a bottle of Grey Goose and then they'll all get pictures with it one by one, but they're doing it watch hand forward and stuff like that. But then they're skint for the rest of the week and eating tuna out of a tin. Like, I ain't ever.
Tuna out of 10? Is that a sign of broke, is it?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I think that's pretty.
Who knew?
Probably. But I just think I've never done that. So I've never tried to look like I'm doing better than I am. You know what I mean? I walk around in Crocs on the tube. So I don't think it'd change too much in my life if what I earn.
What's the most amount you spent on that?
You don't think it will change your life?
I don't think it'd change my life much.
So you think women seeing how much you earn won't change their perception of you?
No, I don't think so.
He backs himself
What's the
that
number
much.
above your head?
Huh?
What's the number above your head?
We're not living in that world, man. You know what I mean?
What would you say your assets above your head, ballpark? Over 100k?
Assets.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's asset
probably.
number above your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why wouldn't that change your life drastically?
I suppose this also comes back to the point, innit, where it's like you might feel like you're doing better or worse than other people, but then like you'll see the figures come out, which is like this is the average earnings of people in your country, and you're like, oh, yeah.
The average earnings of London is what, 29,000 maybe?
Something like that.
That's fucking nothing.
That is, but do you know if like you had those numbers above your head, do you think rich people just date rich people and poor people just date poor people?
No, I think if it was above your head, I think people would actually look past money.
Would it not just make you more of a victim? Like if you're wedged, you're more likely to get robbed. You're more likely to have stuff like that happen. Someone might kidnap your wife. You know what I mean? It might be like,
Yeah, but I think, all right, let's assume in this world where your number is above your head, there's some security whereby that number has to be justified. So if someone steals from you, their number going up so much from stealing from you wouldn't be justified. And so they'd have to prove how that number went up, right? So you can't get robbed.
I suppose you also
Let's put that clause in that you can't be robbed.
You also got to think as well, like,
Imagine how many girls you can just chat up going, I will change your life.
Okay.
Joe says that anyway.
Nah,
Joe does, isn't it?
nah. Mine is I might ruin your life. It's very different. I quite enjoy though, like when my old office in the city. I remember it used to be opposite. You know the Folly by Monument. You know that bar? Do you know that bar?
No.
Nah. So like in the city where it was all like insurance and finance and that, there's this bar called the Folly by Monument Station, and on a Thursday it's like a meat market. Like it's like all the girls will get changed and get dressed up to go out, end up in the Folly late at night, and it would just be full of just men in suits who've rolled out.
Oh, I thought you meant like an
offices.
actual meat market.
Nah, it's like the fun kind to people watch basically, because the downstairs bar then is like a staircase that just comes out into the middle of the room, and it would just be groups of men in suits just like on the outside, like some off planet Earth. And then the women will just come down and the men will just be like waiting, like, oh, when should I go speak to them, whatever. But there is also a dynamic of like, I've spoken to people from when I used to work in the city, and they'd be like, a lot of the young girls would go in there to be like, well, I could meet someone in here who's doing quite well. You know what I mean? But I always quite like the idea of them like seeing a man in a suit, he's buying them drinks and that, and being like, oh, this guy's doing all right. And goes back with him, and then turns out he's just a grad, and she wakes up in like an 8-person house share in Zone 6 or something.
Yeah.
So like your perception of people, and always, you imagine you meet someone who's got like a mad number above their head, but they're just the tightest person you ever met in your life.
Or it's all wrapped up in crypto and they just lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but so what if they're tight? They're clearly savvy with money, right? And also, I actually think this would have less of a bearing than you think. I think people would look past money and actually try and get on with the person.
Why don't people talk about how much they earn in the first place? I feel like I'm on that Barclays advert, you know, the one that pops up every now and then. It's like giving them money advice and shit. But like, why do you think people don't talk about how much they earn anyway?
It's just not tasteful, is it?
I think it's a British thing.
Yeah, it's a British thing.
People in Britain just don't want to be upfront about it. They find it awkward, like saying that they've got money.
I got family that will be like, "Oh, you got a new job? What are you earning?"
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, no fucking about. What are you earning?
Yeah, I've had that, and I'll just be like, I just don't tell them.
Yeah,
I remember as well.
but it's a British thing, I think.
Yeah, I remember this old office I worked in as well, and I don't know if she did it just to stir some shit up, but the woman who worked for HR had come in the one day, and she printed off everyone's payroll in the office, but she left a copy of it on the printer. And some geezer found it, and fuck it, bro. It was like Paris now. Like, that office was gonna burn. Like, this geezer was just going around showing anyone, like, have you seen? Because then it became, well, they're fucking useless, and they're getting paid this much more than me. And then there was like a formal queue starting
so you think it
outside
was
the boss's
tactical?
door. Nah, because HR don't want that headache. I just think she was maybe having a bad day and made a stupid fucking mistake.
That's a big mistake.
People were queued up outside the boss's door to be like,
A lot of that-
The women just write in like, I want to be paid the same.
Nah,
as this
because
man.
the biggest issue was one of the highest earners was a woman, but she was useless. Bro.
Yeah, but
So they
she's a
would-
woman, so she should get paid the same.
She's getting paid more.
I should get paid more.
Yeah, she should get paid more. What, reparations?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
You got to make up for it, haven't you? Because they've been paid less for so long. Now they've got to get paid more for the future.
I'm gonna crop you out of all of this in the end. all of it. All of it.
Why not? Like
Yeah, no,
women
cool.
deserve.
I don't know
to-
who you're trying to please. Talk to them. Don't talk to me. Because you're talking
I
to them
believe
right
that
now.
women-
Come on,
talking to me.
you're campaigning here for
I'm-
mayor of London.
I
Go for
believe women in the future, and that we all need to just kind of take stock of the fact what women give up to make everyone else's life better. When they go on like maternity leave and they have a kid, or like they just do shit for you.
Well, that was a short list there. Okay, fair enough.
No, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how people adapt around you if your figure was above your head. I think people would treat you different. You might get better service in restaurants. People are like, oh shit, he got 500k assets. See, and I think if you live in London, that number's probably a bit of a fraud because your house is just worth so much, but that ain't mean you got that cash in the bank.
Yeah, but again, it comes down to perception, and it's just this is perception backed up by facts. Because perceptions already changes how people deal with you, innit? You can be perceived to be doing well, and people will probably be nicer to you and try and cling on to you a bit more.
Yeah.
And it'll also create more people that do not like you because you're doing well. It's just the difference with this is it'll be backed up by actual fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I suppose that comes back to what you were saying, and it probably wouldn't be that different.
No, I think it would. I think it'd be massively
Yeah.
different.
So you think the world would look different?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
we'd
you'd
all
have
big fucking
women
numbers above our head.
You'd have women chasing you more if that number was big. I think you'd have men trying to get a piece of it because they can't rob you, so they'll just try and leech. I think services would treat you differently, like restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, they'd be asking for more a tip. Yeah,
I think
that could be a problem.
your friends might want a handout because they're in trouble. Also, how does that bring down the dynamic of your friend group? You know what I mean? So I think it'll make massive changes if people... And that's why I think British people don't talk about it, man.
But in your friend group, do you, without even speaking about salary, do you not know in your friend group who's earning the most, who's probably earning the least? Not by small figures, but like if there's like a marginable difference, like like one of your boys has got a job where he ain't going to be earning that much, and then one of your other boys has got a job where he's probably doing pretty well. You don't know the exact numbers, but we still already know that, innit? I think within friendship groups, you still already know that. So
yeah.
You always have that one friend who,
But
when he
you make
goes to
that
get the round in, you're like, nah,
Yeah.
it's all right. Like,
Yeah,
I'll get this
yeah.
one. So it wouldn't change that much, really.
I mean,
in that sense.
yeah, I mean, it wouldn't, but it would at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like, Do you ever get asked for a favor by a friend that's financial?
I hear what you're saying.
You can't fucking lie.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but I think it still comes back to what I was saying before, which is like, it's no different than you're only going to be treated how you're perceived by people. It's just now, it's like a cold, hard number. But you still know what one of your boys is doing well and what one isn't, even now.
I
Without
do, but I
us
don't
talking
know
about the
concrete
salary.
figures. Yeah.
You know when they get a wage rise as well, because then it'd like go up and you'd be like,
Yeah.
But I that's what I mean when I say like, I don't think it'd be that different other than like extremes. Like all of a sudden, if you're the most clapped person in the world with dead wardrobe, everything, you're just looking like some no-hoper, but you walk into a bar and you've got racks above your head, that'd change your life. Because all of a sudden it ain't about having to catch a second look and catch that the geezers ordered a Magnum from the bar. People will approach you instantly because they just want a piece of that, innit? I think it'd only change in the extremes.
do you reckon they'd stop people like coming into somewhere as well? If they've like not, you'd be like, you've got to have more than this to get in.
Like when I said to do that, I was coming out of Sexy Fish a few months ago. You reckon if my number was above my head, then I go, nah, because I know you're only going to sit here for one drink and then fuck off.
Yeah,
So
it's like what you ordering there, fucking appetizers.
What's Sexy Fish?
It's like a cocktail bar in Mayfair.
See, you lot living good, man.
It's like, is it sushi? It's sushi? I've never been.
I didn't eat. I just went in for I'd been to...
Oh, so you did just go in for a drink?
Nah, we'd been to Hakkasan round the corner.
Oh, whoa, that's another big flex.
Yeah, but Hakkasan's not as expensive as I thought it was going to be.
That's another big flex as well.
When my mate wanted to go there for like, it was like the week before his birthday or something, and he was like, I want to like go to like a fancy dinner, innit? And we were like, all right, he said Hakkasan, and I was immediately thinking, right, I do not get paid like, for a minute, you know what I mean? And I got there, and
this is literally Weekend Millionaire shit.
Yeah, but like any Asian fusion restaurant, that man, I got a set menu. So we were like, yeah, we can eat all that.
Yeah, there's only 4 of us, but can you do it?
Yeah,
I know it says 5 or more people, but can you do the set menu for 4?
Yeah, like genuinely, like, yeah, you wouldn't eat there every day, but it weren't that bad. Like, it weren't as bad as I thought it was. I thought I was going to be bankrupt.
I eat fucking meal deals and shit. You lot out here, Hakkasan, Sexy Fishing.
That's the one time I've been to both of them. So
Mate, I can remember
the same day.
Yeah, we went from Hakkasan to Sexy Fish, and then went from there back into Soho.
Where'd you go in Soho?
GAY late. Because it's cheap in there. So it's all about balance, isn't it? All of a sudden you're getting doubles for
Sometimes
£6.
I get a Sainsbury's meal deal and I get the £5 one.
Yeah, when did they become £5, man? Because I stumbled into a Sainsbury's the other day and I was pissed off. Well, that's because you're getting the fancy sandwiches, though.
Yeah, now and again I like to treat myself. That's my Hakkasan.
The steak one with the onion relish
That's
thing.
my Hakkasan.
Yeah, that's a good one, though.
Everyone's done that before, though, haven't they? Like what you did, where you go into somewhere and you're like, well, yeah, let's just have a big night out. I did it when we were in LA. And we went to this steakhouse.
Is everyone just flexing today? What the fuck?
No, this isn't a
steakhouse.
This isn't a flex. We went in the steakhouse.
What was the steakhouse
Just
called?
happened to be in LA.
I can't remember. It was like one of the top rated ones. We went in there. None of us. Yeah.
I like Miller and Carter.
Yeah, in LA, bro. It's the bougiest Miller and Carter you've ever seen.
It was spoons on a Tuesday night, mate.
Yeah.
And we went in there, and like Steven Gerrard was in there. This is when he was playing for LA Galaxy. Steven Gerrard's in there with his family, and then there was also. We went in there, we got sat down, there was like all like kind of minor celebs knocking about, and we had this meal and none of us were like doing that well. And we came, I'd kind of slipped off halfway through because the waiter tried to set me up with this, she was like a Polish...
Steven Gerrard.
No, she's like a Polish X Factor presenter.
All right. You said no, did you?
No, I went over and chatted to her.
I'm going to look her up. You carry on with your story.
And then it came to paying the bill at the end, and we're all like scraping around for the cash, and and then you've got to pay the tip, haven't you, in the US? And we're trying to pay the tip in like euros.
My God.
My mate's like, we've got some euros. I'm like, yeah, I've got a few pounds actually, and then we like
Stay
scraping
in your lane, Jason.
Yeah,
I couldn't find them, so I know you were.
Yeah, her name was I can remember her name.
Gushka, biggest regret of your life, was it?
Patricia Kazardi, I think it was.
Google that.
Kazardi, all right.
Yeah, and like obviously, I got her number. She never texted me back after that.
Oh, because she saw you scraping
Well,
for
she
coins.
must have seen me scraping around at the bar. She was like, yeah.
She wouldn't even have spoke to you if your number was above your head.
That was literally like, if I had my numbers above my head, it would just be
Your
going
number
down.
had a 0 and a dot after it.
My number had like pounds and rupees, and it was fucking.
Yeah, Jason's wounded.
What the fuck?
You ever had it before as well, where like you think you're gonna get stung? Nah, you know what I'm saying? Because even before that point comes, you ever had it where like you think you're gonna get stung and then you can't relax for the rest of the time there? Because I've had it before where we're out. And I think it was like ordering like a bottle of wine for the table or something. And we're looking at the wine menu, and we're like, nah, like they were all like all right prices for bottles of wine. So we like picked like a middle one, and we were like, we'll get that one. This geezer comes out, pours this wine, we're drinking it, we're like, oh, this is nice, man, this tastes nice, whatever. Comes back out, we're like, can we get a second bottle? He said, yeah, you want like it's this Italian guy, he's like, you want and I was like, a bottle of what? Nah, we ordered that, and he was like, no, you said this, and we'd pronounced it wrong, and he's like, that's a wine that's not on the menu, and it's like and we were sitting there like, right, how much is this man going to charge us for that bottle of wine? And one of my mates just went, yeah, it was nice, we'll have that, and doubled down. And then we were like, nah, we're fucked. Like, we're going to be paying
How much was it?
hundreds. Turns out it was only like £60 a bottle.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't know
not
why
bad.
the man was making such a big deal about it, but I was anxious for like the rest of the dining experience then, because I was just
It's
like...
horrible.
I can't
innit?
say I've ever had that issue. Because
What about when the
you go there, and my biggest concern is, have I got my club card? Because it's either $3.90 or $3.40.
Mate, my biggest concern is when the sommelier, when you go in like a nice restaurant, the sommelier.
Stop saying that word. You've said that word 6 times in 3 days.
Is that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because you're a sommelier of vapes, bro. That was you yesterday. It tastes... There's a bit
I'm
of
a vape
coconut in there.
sommelier. Literally that. And like when the guy come up and he'll go through like the whole of the wine menu, he'll be like, this one's from Bordeaux, it's a vintage from fucking 1988. You can feel those crisp textures. It's quite bold. And then this one's from somewhere else in Italy. I don't know where did they get Italy?
I think
one?
they chat shit,
But
bro.
again...
And then at the end you'll just go, I'll have the house, please.
Yeah, and again, have you ever had it where, you know, when they bring it over and they go, do you want to taste it first? And you have a sip. Have you ever gone, nah, actually, I'm good on that one. You know, that one's horrible. Like,
They all taste like shit to me.
yeah, it just tastes like wine. So with this Polish X Factor presenter, what's her name, Karolina?
Patricia.
So, so she watched this whole debacle.
This was after I'd spoken to her.
Unfold.
It's so embarrassing.
So you'd gone in there, yeah? You was like, well, go on, Patricia.
Mate,
You'd got her number.
Picture it, okay?
Yeah,
I was
yes.
wearing a fucking fedora as well.
Yeah, but talk
That's
us.
a hat, right?
Yeah. But in LA,
A sommelier.
but in LA, that's normal. So talk us through
Is
the
it?
process of the conversation that you had with her to get her phone number before it all went tits up.
It was just
talk us
like-
through how that happened.
I'm Patricia.
Basically the guy came, the guy who was the waiter came up to the table. He was like, oh, there's a couple of girls over there, like they're here, they're out, they're going out later. I reckon
like it's a Girls Gone Wild DVD.
I reckon one of you should go over there and chat to them, like see how they're getting on. I was like, okay, like obviously I was thinking I was Mr. Big Bollocks. Went
Yeah.
over, like,
So I'm here, I'm Patricia, go, hit me.
I was like, hey, how's it going? Like, oh, you're here for long?
What was she? Was she?
She just spoke English.
Yeah, I wasn't about to speak Polish, but was she straight in or was she apprehensive? So I had to play the character.
No, she was just like super cool.
Yeah, okay. Come at me again.
I was like, hey, how's it going? Like, the waiter tells me that you're in town for a few days.
Yeah, I'm here working. For
What are you up to? What do you do?
Okay, fucking hell. Let me finish the question, son. What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do for a living?
I work at X Factor. Actually,
X Factor. Oh, amazing. Which country?
is this the whole conversation you had with her?
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
like,
Poland.
Poland. Oh, amazing. Wow. I've never watched the Polish X Factor. I've watched a bit of the UK one.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan. But Simon Cowell, he's okay, isn't he?
I'm the waiter at this point, by the way. I've facilitated this, but now, one, I'm waiting for someone to pay the bill, and two, I'm watching it and I'm like, I feel
Yeah.
bad that I've sent
Yeah.
this man in the fedora over to speak to this woman. So I'm the waiter.
Looking like, what was that? Kevin Federline, bro. She thought you was Kevin Federline.
Man said, do you want me to give you a kid I won't pay for? Right, so I'm just watching at this point now.
And then it kind of the conversation develops, and it's okay. What are you in town for? Oh, I'm here for here for a couple of what they call it, like callbacks, like castings for acting roles and things like that.
Jason went, I've seen them videos, and then that's where it went to.
And that's where, and I obviously didn't tell her what I did for a living because that would have killed the conversation straight away. I'm like, I'm just here with my boys. We're just having a good time. I was like, maybe we should exchange numbers. I can meet up with you later. So exchange numbers, get a number, go back to the table. The lads think I've just hit a complete home run. They're like, oh my God, look at this guy. I think I'm on the form of my life.
Yeah.
And then the guy comes over to like to come with the bill.
How far are they from your table?
Probably about 10 meters to the left.
Okay.
And then you could probably see that we were struggling to pay the bill because we kind of went off, and then the guy called us back as well. Like, no, you can't. Like,
was the bill?
We left the tip and left, and then the guy was like, "Mate, you can't give us like euros as a tip."
Was the bill? So quite soon after you came back from the table was when he came with the bill.
Yeah, like a little bit after. Yeah, because it's towards the end of the meal because we were like kind of wrapping up.
Because at that point as well, her mates are also being like, "Oh, so who was that you were talking to?" So they're chatting and then like looking over while they're talking. And then they were definitely looking, and they watched the whole thing. Yeah. So when you were then leaving the establishment, did you look over at her at any point, or were you just like?
I think I put my head down at that point because I was like, the game's over.
Pulled his fedora down like Michael Jackson.
And then I just moonwalked out of there. Check my bad self. No, I was like,
Have you still got her number?
yeah, I think I have actually.
Give me your phone.
No,
Let me call her.
no, fuck
Why
her.
not?
No,
Let's see if
that'd
she
be so
remembers you.
embarrassing.
Also, so did you then messaged her after?
Yeah, so I was we were exchanging messages, and then
So there was still a discourse.
yeah, but then like I
afterwards,
kind of like it developed into like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, at the time I was a quantity surveyor.
So it was fuck all
She
to do
must
with
have-
what happened at the restaurant. She was just found out you weren't part of Hollywood showbiz.
No, but I
like-
think the damage was done. You know what I mean? She probably gave me the benefit of the doubt and was like, look, maybe he's just a nice guy.
or maybe
Can I not call her?
And then I Googled her after, and I was like, okay, she used to date like an NBA player, and I knew the game was up.
Yeah, you're a cuck again. Can I not call her?
No.
I'm going to say I'm making a documentary about Jason Tasker, who you met in LA.
She'd be like, who the fuck was that?
Yeah,
what
but
did he do?
I'll
Like,
explain everything. and we'll cast her in the documentary of you to get your true opinion.
maybe just tag her in a clip or something like
maybe.
that.
Yeah, that's probably better.
And she'll just untag and probably report.
I mean, if also in
say this never happened. This guy followed me.
Mate, in the subject of having numbers over the head as well, according to the internet, her net worth is somewhere between $1 and $5 million.
She could have paid the bill.
So that could have been. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I should have texted. Like, look, can you just
You should
wire
have
me
been
some
like,
money? Pretty
help.
skin. Yeah, I was way above my head.
She was looking at you thinking, this man owns a fedora. You know? He's
fedora
doing all right for himself.
from
Because
All Saints.
a poor person on holiday wouldn't have packed or bought a fedora,
Yeah.
surely.
Yeah, surely this guy knows what he must have like some kind of recording contract because who else would wear a fedora in LA
Instead of
in a
recording
steak
contract,
restaurant?
You're either one of the other guys from Backstreet Boys who tried to get a career going and it didn't work out, or you're a country singer.
or
Like,
K-Fed.
Yeah, they're your
K-Fed
two
all day.
options. Man literally said, "What do you do for a living?" I'm a backup dancer.
Literally, I was literally a backup dancer to everyone paying the bill. Oh God, that was embarrassing.
Why did you go there, man? You got to stay in your lane in this world.
Yeah, but sometimes you like to shoot your shot, don't you? You like to
No,
live a bit
if
above
not,
your
if you-
station.
You tried to play basketball. You tried to play basketball while you should be playing wheelchair basketball.
I tried to play basketball with someone who dated an NBA player,
but-
and I ended up playing basketball, and I was just like the guy in the middle who like gets shot out of a cannon at half
much.
time.
But
Pretty
also a question, isn't it? I remember, like, you know, like if you have girls that will, I don't know if it's a ploy, if they're trying to make you jealous or whatever, but if they'll say something like, well, I was seeing this guy before and he did this, and this for me, and she's talking about all these things that this man did to pull out all the stops to impress her and stuff like that. But you like still sitting there just being like, yeah, but now you're sat here with me. So like, does that just mean that I won? Like I didn't have to
Yeah.
do all of that and you're still sat here quite happy to be sat here. So it's like, Jay, you shoot your shot, man. It don't matter that he used to play the NBA because for that
Yeah.
moment,
For that moment,
You
I
were
felt pretty
shining,
good.
mate.
I was like, I've made it.
Hey, you ain't got to worry about fitting, mate. You're definitely fit.
And then
There might be space.
Yeah, when I met her, I did have my fedora over my face. And then I revealed it. I was like,
honestly,
Basketball players to Jason Tasker. Jeez.
yeah, Jesus Christ. That was it's a story.
have you ever noticed as well with America? Yeah. And I've spoken to people about this from there. Like, you know, when you see them couples on Facebook and that, and they'll be like an American, like nice family from like the Midwest, and it'll always be like this really attractive, like farm girl looking person. You know what I mean? Like, you picture like the American Midwest. It'll be like tall, blonde, grew up in a nice community and whatever. And her husband will always be the most clapped creature you've ever seen in your life. And I'm like, is that the power of Jesus? Like,
his
because
name-
they both
yeah.
love Jesus. She's like, he's a good God-fearing man.
Jesus will get you pussy.
Crazy, man.
And his name's like Cletus, and he's got like 3 teeth.
No, it ain't even that. It's like they're normal people. You know, like the ones where like their couples photos is like him like behind her, like holding her waist, like.
Yeah,
And he's wearing like a nice button-down shirt and trousers, but he's just the most dime a dozen. Like, you'd see him in any Tesco's, and not.
It's like Village Girls, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why did
And
the
maybe
girls
that's the
end up?
glow down for him. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Maybe he was all right in high school. They've been together since they were 17.
But that's also mad to me. That's more of an American thing, isn't it? Like the high school sweetheart thing of like we met when we were 15 in science class, cutting a frog open. And
I want to talk
now
about
we've got
this as
5
well.
kids.
Like, I was thinking about this last week, like childhood sweethearts. Like, really, think of all the decisions you make when you're like 13.
Now think about how many good ones you made.
Yeah.
Is that your point?
Yeah, and then you're still with someone, like, and you made that decision when you were 13. Like, how are you compatible still? It's not
Because
true.
you grow together, Jason. What's this negativity about?
But why would you want to, like, would you grow together with someone? Like, how does that work?
I know some people that I went to school with that got together when they were like 13 and they're still like married with kids now. But I know more where it went tits up, like nuclear. I just think you're for most people, not for everyone, but for most people, if you settle down like a childhood sweetheart and live that life out, and you do all the middle-aged shit in your 20s, you're careening towards a fucking midlife crisis.
You have lost the wonder years,
Yeah, which means, and that's exactly what a midlife crisis is. You're going to then try and get them back when you're 40. That's why you talk about them man who go and sleep with their secretary, get a divorce and buy a sports car.
And start
because
stand-up
like,
comedy.
Yeah, and start
But,
stand-up
but
comedy.
sometimes you see
Bit
the
like
women
them.
putting up with it, and they're like with someone. You're like, why are you with this person? You're so not like you grow together. You don't. You grow apart together, and then they're still together, and then they're like, oh yeah, we just get on fine. It's like, well,
Do you reckon
yeah,
that
you
woman's
just.
back with a basketball player, and Jason's just fuming.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. They were childhood sweethearts. They grew together.
What, in Warsaw? My man flew over to play in the NBA. I want to hear his story now, because he's killing it.
The European version.
It's like that Adam Sandler film, but when he goes and finds the basketball player in Greece. I want to hear about these geezer, man.
Yeah.
You know. That was good. You know what? I never knew that about you. That was an interest. How close you came to stardom.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Does she still present Polish X Factor?
I think something. I think she. I don't know. I've not looked her up in a while.
You could go to Poland and
You had
audition.
You had any celebrities?
Nah. I had for like 2 years when I was 18. Because I'd still get like the student nights and that, innit? Even though I didn't go uni. And like for 2 years, everyone thought I was this geezer that was in Hollyoaks. So it came about.
Was it the one that rapped and got done for it?
I don't know, because I ain't watched it for a long time.
Never watched it.
And I didn't really watch it back then. I remember I got a message off some girl I went to school with, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going to be in Hollyoaks." And I just thought she was taking the piss. So I replied, and I was just like, "Ha, yeah." And then like throughout that week, this new character had come in, and I was getting messages off people that were like, "Are you in Hollyoaks, or does that geezer just look like it?" And I was like, "I'm not in Hollyoaks." But then all these student nights, I'd have people like trying to get photos with me, and like.
Did you milk it?
Did you become the guy from Hollyoaks?
Yeah, and it was made worse because
He turned up one
Nah,
day.
Imagine.
He's like, this is his stunt double.
Now I've got to kill him and take his role. No, it was made worse because my mate was seeing this girl at the time who was actually in Hollyoaks. So she'd come every now and then people would be like, "Oh, well, that's the two of them together, so he definitely is the guy from Hollyoaks." But it got so bad that once you're talking about bougie and flexing. Me and my boy were having some food in a harvester by ours, and the waitress came over and asked if I could sign a napkin, and I just did it. I was just like, all right.
Did you pay the bill?
Did you sign it? Who did you sign the napkin as?
As his character name.
What was it?
Some guy called Callum, but I can't remember.
He literally wrote that a guy called Callum.
Yeah. And then my boy, and she also then assumed that like my boy must be someone as well, so she asked him to sign the napkin as well. It was a farce. But also, there was a chippy by mine, and I'd go in there. And they'd always ask me about the show and stuff. And I'd always be like, I'm not on Hollyoaks. And they'd be like, all right then. As if it was some sort of secret. And then he got killed off after like 2 years. Same chippy. I go in there. They went, oh, so what are you going to do now for work?
This guy?
Yeah, my man. Yeah. Well, bear in mind, I couldn't grow a beard back then.
You look like, you literally, I've seen that. You look quite a lot like him.
Yeah. 2 years, man. Just headache. But it was the chippy was the funniest one for me. Just the way that I'd be like, I'm not in it, and they'd be like, all right then, bad, we won't tell no one.
It is good when you get a little bit of a celebrity lookalike when you're younger, because then you can kind of ride the wave a little bit, and then someone says it, you look like someone, you're like, yeah, I do it. You got to lean into it, haven't you? Really.
Mine when I couldn't grow a beard, mine was only ever him or Hayden Christensen when he was Anakin Skywalker. But funnily enough, he was never expected to be cutting about in Birmingham. So the Hollyoaks guy was the one that stuck.
Mine was Alex Turner.
Okay.
And
what, when you had long hair though?
Yeah, or when I was like skinny.
And you had the accent.
And
effective.
And then the other one was some guy out of, I can't remember his name. He used to be in like Towie or something like that.
Oh, that's a bad one to get.
Yeah, but he looked all right. So I was like, I look like a shit version. I look like a B-Tech version of him. So I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah. Did you ever have any lookalikes?
Yeah.
Oh, I get loads, man.
Yeah, I know the ones that you've spoken about, but they're like city ones, isn't it? So,
Alhan.
I see Alhan.
I get Post Malone.
Don't want to give Raj face. Oh, you said you're going to do that one for Halloween this year, isn't it? Post Malone.
My face for Halloween.
You're going to get braids. You're going to get braids.
Yeah.
You get braids, man. Get the old.
Have you seen
ones.
some of the comments on one of the videos
about you looking like Alhan? Yeah.
No. But this other video, right? This is the internet is a horrible place. Wait for this, yeah. When it loads, if it loads, come on, you bastard. Right, you ready? Did I just see Post Watermelon? Post Lemon. Post Musk Melon. There was some more.
What? And these are just on your stand-up clips?
Yeah. Post melon, pre-melon.
It's fuckery that. It's, you know what that's like? Have you seen the TikToks of the
Wait a minute. What happened to Post Malone? He is too fat. And I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked
that's
the comment.
good though. You got to. Have you seen the TikToks of the really fat Brazilian kid that plays football? And the comments every time would just be like, so someone commented and it would be like, Mauro e cardiac arrest.
Honestly, the internet is undefeated.
It is
the
undefeated.
Funniest place, man.
To answer your other question though, I don't really remember. I don't recall ever like linking a minor celebrity or anything like that. No.
What about you?
So.
That's all to come, mate.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, true.
Although, no, I think I did get... I got Letitia Grace's number once, but I think she thought I was the manager of the venue. She thought I was going to.
Thought you were security. You're like, I need
making
protection.
a savvy business decision, but Raj was just trying to hit it.
You know who she is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
Nah. You're only human. But I don't think so. I don't think. I've never really like interacted with many celebrities. The last one was Jamie Carragher at Glastonbury, but I was fucked and just saw him.
What, this year?
Yeah.
Was he there?
I was walking down the track towards Shangri-La, and you just see someone in the corner of your eye, And you see so much of it. I looked and I was just like, even Jamie Carragher.
What was he doing? Spitting on a child?
Nah, I couldn't get my head round it. He had like a cat pulled down proper low. Definitely trying to keep his head down, maybe after the spitting incident.
Probably on the beak.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, all the videos I've seen of him from that weekend, it looks like he's had a very fun time. But yeah, I was just like, you're Jamie Carragher. And he just went, yeah, lad. And then just took off. He still got it. Still got a good turn of pace. Yeah.
Which ran?
Nah, beat me there, though. Walking, mate.
Took him out.
Athlete. He just went, yeah, you remember Istanbul?
He's two-footed him.
Do you know I have heard a mad story about Istanbul? Tragic.
What, about the Champions League final?
Yeah.
Or?
When Liverpool was 3-0 down, there was a guy who couldn't handle it, switched it off and shot himself or killed himself.
I've heard that, yeah.
And then Liverpool won.
I've heard that.
Fucking hell, there's no good ending to that
Wasn't
one.
it he had a fair bit of money on it? He was in a bit of trouble
Yeah,
like,
he
or
did a
something.
mad, it was
Yeah.
killed himself.
Yeah, I saw that.
Goodness.
And then he won.
I thought you were
Why
gonna,
did you have to
I thought
bring
you
the
were gonna
vibe
tell
down? I know you're a Liverpool fan, but fucking
I
hell.
literally saw the video today. So.
I thought you were going to tell the story of who was the left back that got pulled off at half time after getting rinsed, and they went on to win the whole thing. And he weren't very good on it.
Was it Moreno or something like that?
Nah, it was long
Traore.
before that. Yeah, was it? Got pulled off at
Did
half
Jimmy?
time.
Don't talk about the Jimmy like that.
He did, don't he? He got pulled at half time, Jimmy Traore.
No, I don't think he did.
To win it.
Because he used to have that chant, didn't they? Don't blame it on the high man. Don't blame it on the Bishkan. Blame it on Traore. He just can't control his feet.
It is true.
Remember when he slid into the post, balls first? Fucking
That's
hell. He was a mess, but we don't speak ill of the Jimmy.
That's commitment. Man.
Well, that's what I mean. He played a part. If he didn't do that, you wouldn't have won the Champions League. If he didn't have a shit game.
What, you reckon that was like his
It's fate.
sliding doors moment?
It's fate, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, to bring it back to salaries, I think it's fair to say if I was in that place and my salary was above my head, I probably would have got given money.
But if
This came out like,
Makes
look,
begging easier,
I
doesn't
would,
it?
it does
All
make
them
begging.
fake homeless people, you
yeah,
know.
true. But if
There's fake homeless people.
I know this fake, yeah.
And they do all this fake shit.
all of what?
They like shake and ask for money and it's all fake.
Yeah, just for a TikTok usually. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? When they like come up to your window in car, you lot don't drive, but they wait at big roundabouts and they
Oh, really?
shake
Yeah.
and
They
limp.
do it on the tube as well, and it's harder then because you can't go anywhere.
Maybe that's what I should have done in this state.
I'm gonna follow one, see what it's all about.
You start getting like that.
I got a question about your interaction with this woman though. When you're talking about the salaries above the head, because you're saying she wouldn't have spoken to you, but would you have still gone and spoke to her if you'd have seen 5 mil above her head? Or would you have been a bit intimidated?
I was at an age where you've just got like a fucking stupid level of confidence.
Balls of steel.
Yeah, where you're just like, yeah, I can do this. And you just kind of go for it.
I don't know if I would.
It's just
wanna go
blind
and-
stupidity more than anything.
I don't know if I would want to go and speak to a woman with racks above her head like that, because I'd be a bit like, what am I adding to this equation? Like, I'd be questioning myself on the way over there. I'd be like,
That's what
Yeah,
makes
but
it
you
fun,
never
isn't
get
it?
with someone for their money, do you?
nah, but I'd still be a bit like, you're balling, I'm chilling.
But it's quite funny. It's quite humiliating. It's quite sadistic, I guess.
Also, that's a pretty archaic view on things, and it that the man should earn more than the woman and all that stuff. But
I suppose like
Yeah, I just want it to be
activities,
kept, Joe.
She might have a standard of living, you know, that you
exactly
can't,
that we
you know.
Yeah, it
'cause when
definitely
you're
wasn't the
talking
same standard as
when
mine.
you're talking about
couldn't eat
staying
in
in your
that-
lane.
He couldn't eat in that restaurant twice a week,
Exactly.
let alone once.
When you're
Yeah.
talking about staying in your lane, when she's going, all my friends and their partners are going to Santorini on holiday. To be fair though, then I would be like, well, you better pay for me to go to Santorini. And if,
Literally.
if you want me to go, because if
But-
you don't,
Oh, how the tables have turned.
They're leaving the steakhouse.
Jason's on a yacht for a week.
Exactly. Whereas 10 years ago, they were leaving the steakhouse. I was cleaning the pots just to pay the rest of the bill.
Yeah.
and is she
fucking hell.
even still presenting X-Factor? Because if she's not, I'll tell you what, your stock's never been higher, mate. So
And I'm taking
hers
that
never
as
been
well. Do you know
lower.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
Look,
5 mil. You know
somewhere,
what I mean?
nah,
No.
nah, that
you
could-
can't
that-
put a price on love, Raj.
That's
can.
rumored. That's rumored as well. Somewhere in LA, in a podcast studio, she's doing a podcast where she's thinking, "What if with that broke bitch from the steakhouse?" She's thinking about it as well, man. I guarantee
Hopefully.
it. I guarantee it. Hopefully, you never know. Clip that up, put it online. It might find a way to her phone.
Yeah.
And she'll be sat there eating her breakfast, and she'll see that clip, and she'll go, "I don't remember any of that."
I doubt she remembers an ounce of that conversation.
Nah, she'll remember a man who moonwalked out of the place in a fedora
Yeah.
after getting pulled back to pay for his bill. She'll remember that.
Can you start wearing the fedora again, please?
It's actually on Vinted for sale at the minute. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wear it one last time.
No, actually, that one I lost. No.
Did you put it as the tip?
Yeah, literally. I was like, look, I'll give you anything. I started taking my shoes off.
Sat outside.
He sat outside with his fedora trying to pay the bill.
I was like, I need reparations.
Man, how can you go into a restaurant without the pee, man? That's crazy.
Again, it's just you just have to wing it, don't you?
No, you don't.
Shoot your shot.
Although I did dine and dash from Harvester a lot.
Yeah. We used to do it from Nando's back in the day. And
What, you pay for Nando's first?
We also did the thing
Cheeky.
where we did the thing where you got the cards and
Yeah.
you used to get the stamps. So I can't remember who it was. Someone worked there and they left and they just nicked loads of the stamps. So we just took loads of the cards and we were just stamping them to eat like full chickens for time. And then they phased them out and made it an app and we were heartbroken. I don't think we paid for a full Nando's for like 3 years.
People would come in and try and buy that stamp
Mm-hmm.
for peas.
Yeah.
Because you could sell a full card for £5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't. We were greedy. We just went there like 2-3 times a week. My bowels were in turmoil for quite some time. But
I wouldn't
yeah,
mind a little Nando's.
times.
I'm actually hungry.
I'll give you some Pringles when we finish. We're nearly finished anyway, I think. I think that's nearly an hour for us.
Wrap it up.
Wow, wrap it
Put
up.
it in.
Oh yeah, we didn't answer that at all, though, did we?
Yeah, we
did.
did. We
What
did.
did
We
we
kind
say?
of came
Oh
to
yeah, it was. Would the world be different? Wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think we've realised that it would be different judging by our experiences and how things turned out. And things turned out not that great, but I think things will turn out worse if those salaries are above your head.
Yeah. Like imagine you're in class and you see your teacher's thing above their head, then you're like,
You wouldn't want to be
I
a
ain't listening
teacher.
to those broke bitch. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't want to be a
Back in
teacher.
primary school.
Yeah. I'd have called someone a broke bitch in primary school, 100%.
Yeah.
I've been balling since day.
Okay.
I don't even know what sexy fish is.
It's because you're not the real Post Malone. You're Post Water Malone. Mate.
Well,
You still think about that, don't you?
That was some hurtful comments there, yeah.
they stick. Yeah, they stick. They do.
I do.
Yeah, but don't take it to heart, mate.
Right, Kevin Federline. Let's wrap it up.
Well, this has been like a therapy session, really. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Joe and Raj to join, as usual. Like, subscribe, share the videos, maybe watch a full episode. Do what you like. I've been Jason.
Raj.
I've been Joe,
Catch you later.
It's all right.
Peace.
This has been the Word on the Streets. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.